Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. So over the past few weeks, as I'm sure many of you know, more details have been releasing about Colin Trevorrow's version of Star Wars Episode 9. And for those who don't know, Colin Trevorrow was originally scheduled to write and direct Episode 9, but for some reason Lucasfilm didn't like what he produced and instead they went with JJ. However, we've been getting more details about the movie. It started out with basic plot summaries, then we got concept art in a couple of batches, and now we've actually received the full leaked script. And some people are questioning whether the script that released today is actually real, but I'd be more than willing to bet that it is. For one, it matches details which Trevorrow has confirmed, it matches the concept art, and it's over 130 pages long, so there's no way someone just whipped that up in response to rumors. Anyway, if you want to read it for yourself, I'll include a link down in the description, but you can also just find it on the Star Wars Leaks subreddit. So I'll probably be talking about topics within this script for a few days because there is a whole lot to cover. And I know some of you are probably wondering, well, this movie was never made, who cares? Personally, I still think it's interesting to look at what we could have got instead of Episode 9. And I mean, there's a lot in here, everything from the Eclipse Super Star Destroyer, as I covered in a prior video, which actually according to the script does have a super laser, so my mistake there, to some fairly obscure Legends references like the planet Near One, or more standard EU stuff like Lando's ship the Lady Luck, a first live-action appearance of the Bothan race, and of course the return of Coruscant, which personally I've been dying to see in the sequel trilogy. Anyway, one feature of the movie, and what we'll be talking about today, is Kylo's journey further into the dark side. And as he did in Episode 9, Duel of the Fates, which was the name of Colin Trevorrow's movie, has Kylo visiting Mustafar. However, instead of it just being a nondescript forest, he actually visits Vader's castle, and within, he finds a holocron. As he's accessing it, he's basically being haunted by the spirit of Luke, which is pretty cool. But as he opens the holocron, he gets a message from Palpatine, recorded, according to the script, decades ago. Lord Vader, young Skywalker will soon be ours. I have foreseen it. But we must prepare for the unseen. Should he strike me down, you will take him to the Remicor system. There you will find Tor Vallum, master of the Sith Lord who instructed me. So that's a lot to unpack right there. And I mean, first of all, it does go against the Legends continuity, which had Plagueis' master as a Bith named Darth Tenebris. Personally, I'm okay with that, even though Plagueis is one of my favorite books. But problematically, I think it also kind of interferes with the rule of two, which says there should only be a master and an apprentice at any given time. If Tor Vallum was still alive, then we had Plagueis, Palpatine, and the Grand Master himself. And that's a lot of Sith to be existing at one time. Anyway, it continues, saying, here the son of Skywalker will acquire a great ability, beyond what you could hope to command in your damaged state. With it, he will harness the untapped power of Mortis. At last, he will realize, and unfortunately the holocron is cut off, and actually seriously wounds Kylo's face with some red lightning. There's a lot more about Mortis that we can talk about perhaps later in this video, but he does eventually find Tor Vallum, who is described as a 7,000-year-old alien of unknown origin, spindly intense, sinew and muscle pulled tight. However, much like Yoda, by this point he's sort of given up his rank as Sith and is actually hiding within him great power. Kylo thinks that he's weak, however really it's all a ruse. Tor realizes Kylo's ultimate intention, which is, you wish to obtain the power of those who came before, take your place among the gods of Mortis. I do. To rule the galaxy without armies, without starships, yes. Yet you fear the frailty of your vessel. You need this power. With this, Kylo essentially agrees to study under the Sith Master, who teaches him what appears to be a method to steal life essence. The whole thing is sort of a dark mirror to Yoda. Vallum is all about domination, while Yoda instead teaches connecting with nature and the universe. The connections continue as Kylo is sent into a Force cave which contains a vergence in the Force. Like Luke, he faces an avatar of Darth Vader, however he is actually struck down. He's not killed, but he is injured, and stumbling out of the cave, he demands that Vallum teach him where Mortis is. The Master refuses. Then, in what I assume would be quite a shocking moment, Kylo probes into his mind, as he did with Rey in Episode 7, and steals the essence of Tor Vallum, killing the Ancient Sith. This leads to the eventual confrontation between Rey and Kylo at Mortis, with Rey being guided by Luke despite believing that the place was simply a legend. At the planet, Kylo goes towards a temple which he believes has ultimate power. He defeats Rey in single combat, blinding her in a fairly brutal scene with blood running down her face and basically leaving her to die on the steps of the temple. Then, when inside, discovers that there's nothing there. He's confronted by the ghost of Luke. He swings his lightsaber at the dead Jedi, and Luke catches it with his hands. Meanwhile, Rey reaches across the galaxy. She gains power from her friends, like Finn and Poe, as well as other Jedi like Leia. She blindfolds her eyes, then proceeds to fight Kylo to the death, with Ben essentially being redeemed in the last moment, though in a way much less clear than we got in The Rise of Skywalker. As this is happening, the Battle of Coruscant rages on, which I'll cover in my video tomorrow or the next day, and the movie ends with Rey essentially choosing to continue living, to return to the living force rather than embrace the cosmic force and die along with Yoda and Obi-Wan and Luke, and the film ends with her beginning to teach the next generation of Jedi, including, as I predicted, Broom Boy from Episode 8. So all in all, a pretty interesting plot. There's a lot to cover here. For example, I did predict that the First Order would have a massive Star Destroyer as their citadel over Coruscant. I was right about that, so I want my bonus points. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Again, I'll link to the script, read it yourself, give me your first impressions, and let me know whether you would have preferred this to The Rise of Skywalker. Also, I do have a few videos planned over the next few days covering details from this script, but if you really don't want me to cover it, I won't. Just also let me know that down below, or maybe dislike the video. But I'm off to play poker with the boys, so I'm gonna cut this one short. Have a good one, guys, and as always, may the Force be with you.